Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my cat who has decided to sit in this box and I don't have the heart to move her. Today I am going to be filming I did just have to get it up on my phone to get the title right. This is the All About My Eyeshadow Palettes tag. This was originally posted by Allie Glines and Samantha March, and I have just noticed when I got this up just to check the title that Ali is wearing a purple eyeshadow in her video and I'm wearing a purple eyeshadow in mine. That, I promise, was completely unplanned. So today I am going to be going through my eyeshadow palette collection, finding my favourites from the questions that I will leave in the description box down below, and talking you through why each of these palettes has won in the category for the question that it is, if that makes sense. So if you enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and you want to look through more of my makeup collection, because now that it's organised I can go through it. So the first category is all-time favourite, and so many of my palettes are my all-time favourites for various reasons, but I had to choose this one. If I was in need of an eyeshadow palette, if I lost all of my makeup, this is probably the one that I would rebuy because it's just so versatile. This is the Revolution Forever Flawless palette in the shade Allure. I just love this palette because it is the colours that I love, the colours that I wear regularly, the colours that you can either wear every day or you can build them up to make more of a glamorous look. There are mattes, there are shimmers, there are just a great selection of colours and a great selection of finishes. There's also a huge mirror in... I'm sorry if my cat's distracting. She is very cute. Do you see why I couldn't move her? The finishes and the colours just make it so easy to use. You can bang on a matte colour, bang on a shimmer or a glitter and you're done basically, or you can build it up to something more if that's what you want. This is one that I reach for so often. I almost wore this one on my wedding day, but something else just beat it, and I will get to that in a minute. But my all-time favourite would have to be the Revolution Forever Flawless in Allure. My most recent favourite, which is the next question, is the Juvia's Place The Mauves palette. This is a 6-pan palette and I recently picked it up from Superdrug. It is a really great selection, again, of matte and shimmers and one amazing duochrome glittery shade. The shade on the bottom row in the middle is just incredible. I'm going to have to use this on my channel soon because I love it. I'm reaching for it so often recently. The colours look amazing on blue eyes, which I have, and they just blend out so beautifully. I did make a look that I photographed. I think I put it on my Instagram and on my blog, so I will link that down below if you wanted to see one look that I made with this, but I definitely want to use it on my channel soon. The next category or question is keep for the memories. So many I could choose because I feel like I really connect makeup and fragrances with special moments. So I can tell you what perfume I was wearing when we got engaged, and I can tell you what perfume I was wearing on my wedding day, you know, all of these sorts of things. And that is why this is the palette that I'm keeping for the memories. This is the Stila Eyes Are the Window palette in the shade Soul. And now Zelda doesn't want anything to do with us, so that's great. But this is the palette that I wore on my wedding day. I received this as a gift from one of my bridesmaids for my birthday before my wedding, and when I was trialing loads of different products and deciding what I wanted to use on my wedding day, I just kept coming back to this. The colours and the finishes are so beautiful. I ended up just using the mattes out of this palette and building up a sort of warm smoky eye, which obviously is really, really easy to do. There's also more cool tones in here, so I feel like it could apply to so many different occasions and looks. I do, again, reach for this one quite a lot if I want something a bit more fancy. I don't use this for every day, but if there's an occasion, if it's someone's birthday, something like that, then I do generally reach for this one. I do like to keep it for special, which I know you shouldn't do, but I do. My heart loves this palette because I know that this is what I was wearing on my wedding day. I will be creating a wedding makeup series, not just one video on the makeup that I wore for my wedding day, but loads of different things, so if you want to see that, subscribe. But yes, this is the one that I'm keeping for the memories because I am never getting rid of this palette. Even when all of the shades are gone, I'm going to keep this because I just love it. It brings me so much happiness. So the next category is a palette that is underrated. This was quite a difficult one because I feel like loads of palettes are underrated. I feel like there's loads of palettes that I use that I'm like, this is incredible. How does nobody else talk about it more? But I decided to go for the NYX Ultimate palette in the shade Brights. Now hear me out, I know not everybody is going to use this on an everyday basis, and I might have just completely missed the boat because this isn't a new palette. I've only recently sort of gotten into makeup, but this is one that I reach for whenever I want any sort of colour. The pigmentation is incredible, completely unrivaled by anything else that I have in my collection, quite frankly. I reach for this one so much. All of the colours are incredible on the eye. You can really lightly wash them over the eyelid, or you can pack them on and create the most incredible rainbow eye looks, whatever. Oh, and she's gone. Whatever look it is that you're wanting to do, you can do it with this palette. There's every colour that you could possibly want. It's only a £16 palette, but it's just so concise, but also you don't need anything else apart from maybe a little bit of bronzer in the crease if that's the sort of look that you're going for, but you might not even need that. I am really so impressed by this. I don't know how more people don't talk about it, but maybe they did years ago when it first came out, and I've just completely missed that whole era of this palette. Maybe that's why I don't hear more people talk about it, but I really, really think if you're looking for a bright eyeshadow palette, this is the one that you need. Next up, the category is not a favourite, but I can't get rid of. Now, all of my palettes are my favourites. That is quite a statement, but I do enjoy something about every palette that I have, because if I didn't, I would just get rid of it. I would give it to a friend, or I would, I don't know, recycle it. There's not really a lot that you can do with makeup, but I wouldn't keep something if it didn't get used. Basically, I try to use everything in my collection, obviously, but this one is, I would consider not a favourite, but I can't get rid of, and I can't get rid of it for one specific shade. So this is the SheGlam Desert Palette, eyeshadow palette, and this is from Shein Makeup. I tried this on my channel. I'll link the video up here if I remember. I tried this palette probably about 2 years ago. I keep this palette just for this one shade called Desert Sage. It's incredible. It's like a duochrome. I'll see if I can swatch it on the back of my hand. You will just have to excuse my eczema flare-up that I've got going on at the minute. But this shade here, Desert Sage, oh, it's so soft. I mean, it's just incredible on the lid. I don't use any of the other shades in the palette. I just use this one. It's so nice. It's like pink and gold duochrome shade. The other glitters in the palette aren't as nice as that Desert Sage one. It really is incredible. It just looks beautiful on the eyelid. So I'm going to keep this palette until I have gotten through that whole Desert Sage shade, and then I will be getting rid of it because the mattes are rubbish. The other shades aren't as good, but that one is beautiful. The next category was so easy for me because I only have one that applies, but it is definitely a favourite, and it is the favourite collab, the favourite collaboration between a brand and an influencer. I think that it has to be a brand and an influencer, but the category is favourite collab, and it had to be this one because it's the only one that I have, but I really, really do love it and I need to reach for it more. You can see how loved this palette is because the lid just completely falls off. The mirror lid section isn't attached to the eyeshadow palette pan section. It has been used so much that the lid has just fallen off. This is another one that I have seen Allie use quite a few times actually, so that has sparked me to want to use it more. Specifically the shade, I don't have the sheet anymore, but this blue shade, that I have used a few times, I can see, because it's been swatched. I mean, I think I must have used all of these shades because I've had this for years, but that across the lid again is like a duochrome shade, and they're just my favourite at the minute. I love them. I wear glitter eyeshadows pretty much every single day. It's very rare that I'll go a day without wearing it if I'm wearing makeup, and there's so many nice ones in this palette. I really need to be digging this out more. I generally don't use this one because it's so broken, but I need to just be gentle with it and use it more because the colours in it are incredible and so affordable because it's Revolution. Did I even say what it is? It's the Revolution and Soph palette. Love Revolution, love Soph, love all of her videos, love all of her products. I've tried a few of them. Her highlighter palette was the first highlighter that I ever bought. This was one of the first eyeshadow palettes that I ever bought. Really, really love it. So although it's my only collaboration palette, it is my favourite one too. The next category is 2021 favourites. Now, I wasn't posting on YouTube at the start of 2022, so I didn't post a 2021 favourites video, but I did do a blog post, so I'll link that down below, and you will see in that blog post that my favourite palette was the Revolution Forever Flawless one that I mentioned at the start of the video. That was one that I reached for the most, I would say, in 2021. It was one that I used the most often and created the most different looks with, so I had to choose that one as my favourite. It is an all-time favourite and a favourite for 2021. The next category was a palette you didn't expect to love. I expect to love all of my palettes, and then I am majorly disappointed when a palette doesn't work. So I don't have one for this category because I only buy things if I expect to love them. There are things that I expect to love and then I'm let down by, but there aren't palettes that I buy thinking, it's fine, and then I think, oh, I love this, it's my favourite thing, because I work the other way around. I'm an optimist, so I don't have one for this category. The next category is a palette that sparks joy, and I had to choose this one. This is a very Revolution heavy video, but most of my palettes are Revolution anyway, so that just makes sense. This is the Revolution Redemption Palette Iconic 3. I haven't used this palette in forever, like it must have been a year or two. It's probably gone old. I definitely won't be using it on my eye anymore, but it does spark joy. This is the very first palette that I ever bought, and honestly, I think I bought this maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I never used to wear makeup, so I'm 28 now, and I never really wore makeup growing up. As like a teenager, I would wear the very bare minimum, never wear eyeshadow. And when I went to university to study fashion, of all things, I never wore makeup. Like, I would walk into lectures and the other girls in my class would be like, oh my god, you look so good, what's different? I'd be like, I'm wearing mascara. That's the kind of girl that I was. I just never wore makeup. I have good skin, I don't need to wear a lot of makeup, but eyeshadow is definitely something that I've gotten into more recently. But this palette just sparks joy because I remember buying it. I remember going in to Superdrug Instant Stevens in Hull, if anybody knows it, and picking this up and thinking that the tones were just the sort of ones that I liked. I'd started watching YouTubers and thinking that these were the sorts of shades that I'd seen other girls with my skin tone, my hair colour, my eye colour wearing, and I remember thinking that if it suited them and they could do something with it, then so could I. So this is the one that I picked up, and I really love the shades still. I think that it's a beautiful selection of colours. I don't even know if they make this palette anymore. I'll have to look it up. If they do, then I might pick up another one, because like I say, I've had this definitely for too many years and I shouldn't put it on my eyeballs anymore, but it's the beautiful colours, beautiful finishes, and I remember sitting and playing with it for so long. So the next category, the second to last category in this video, is the newest palette to your collection, and it's the one that I'm wearing on my eyeballs today. I think this video is going to be coming out before the video where I try this on. So this is the look that I created with this eyeshadow palette, and I'm not going to give away what my final thoughts are. You'll have to watch that video when it comes out. But this is the Kiko Glamour Multi Finish Eyeshadow Palette in the shade 04. It is a purple shadow palette. There are a good mix of matte and shimmer shades, and little spoiler alert, the glitter on the bottom row is incredible. And that's all I'm telling you. You'll have to watch the other review video when that comes out. It might be the next one after this. I don't know. I can't remember. And the last category for this video collection tag is the first palette you used in 2022. Now, like I said, I didn't post any videos until recently. I've only recently started posting again. But I did write on my blog about this eyeshadow palette. I loved it all through December for the glitters. I loved it at the start of January, and I haven't really reached for it recently, but I know that this is the first one that I used in 2022 because this is what I wore on New Year's Day. This is the Huda Beauty Pastels Mint palette, and specifically the shade... Oh, they don't have names. Do they have numbers? No. This shade here, this one here, which is like a marbled brown and mint, but also this one on the bottom. All over the lid with just a little bit of bronzer through the crease. Looks so festive, looks so beautiful. I loved it over Christmas. I think that I will probably start to use this one again more in summer when I'm doing more like bright and glittery. I don't know, I feel like I will reach for this more in summer, but at the minute it's just too cold and drab. I feel like I need the warm tones. I feel like I need the brightness. This isn't that, but it is beautiful. The glitters are incredible. I've never tried a glitter like that. It's like it has no pigment, but the glitter is so intense and so intensely glittery. It's incredible. I do want to pick up more Huda Beauty palettes because I'm so impressed by this one, and like I say, I reached for it every single day for work through December. It was so festive, just made me feel so in the mood for Christmas. I loved it. So that is all of the questions for today's makeup eyeshadow collection tag challenge thing. That's what this is, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe down below. I am going to be doing videos like this where I go through my bronzers and my blushes and my eyeshadow that aren't eyeshadow palettes, like liquid eyeshadows and cream eyeshadows, because I've got a lot of those as well. So if you want to see those, then please comment down below which one you want to see first, and I will get that recorded for you pronto. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye!